So I have not been able to go live in a long time. And today I couldn't resist. It's a beautiful day. It's like 50 degrees, but warm enough for me to be outside. And I wanted to talk about probably one of my favorite verses, but it is also, it's like a wake-up verse, really. Because most of us are just operating on like our own agendas, fast forward in most days. And there's a verse, Hebrews 13:2, you might be familiar with. It's really the verse about be aware of how you basically entertain people you don't know. Be aware of strangers, how you treat them. It says because you may be, dealing with an angel. And that's really the premise of the verse, is that you don't know who you're dealing with. And I find it so powerful, even when I think about people who I've interacted with, just random people, like in different shapes or form that touch your life. Sometimes people are so kind who you don't know, and they have such a gentle spirit and such a kind presence that it touches you in a significant way. So I think about people like that. And then I think about people who you see in need, especially in a big city. You live in a big city, you often run into people who need food to eat, who are asking for money and different things. And, you're just busy, right? And it's like you have to really stop what you're doing to recognize that person. It's easy to be in your own world and not stop and help people out or even notice them in the first place. But the thing about it is we never know who these people are. We never know who these stories are. Even beyond whether or not they're an angel, it's just a matter of not knowing what their needs are and why, and not knowing really, how anybody could be in that situation given the proper circumstances. And so I love that verse for just all of those reasons of reminding us of how to pay attention to other people who we don't know. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've had experienced people coming and saying things to me and, not really knowing why. And I think it's easy to dismiss people who we don't know because we assume that they don't have anything to give us or to tell us, when really you never know what you can learn or gather from an experience with anyone, whether you know them or not. I believe we can all learn from everyone something. And the only way that we know what that something is if we give it that opportunity. But I find it also powerful in identifying how we treat people. Because, God said, He sees how we treat the less of us, basically saying those who have the least of powers. That's how important it is, to notice how we treat people is how do we treat those who have the least. It's easy to treat those who have more with greatness, whether they're, a famous celebrity. Oh my goodness, like if you're in a restaurant or if you're at a salon or some type of establishment and someone famous comes in, there's this uproar of everyone looking at the door and seeing where the person is going to be seated, and the owner rolling out the red carpet, because this person, on practical terms, this person is like, public relations for them, advertisements, for them. But also even just on emotional terms, even people who are not the owners, it's a certain reverence that people will give someone because they're famous, or because they're held in high regard, or, similarly at work, people will treat their managers differently than how they will treat people who report to them or peers. They give a different kind of reverence. And it's not to say that, we're going to give everyone the same attention in our lives. But what is important is that we honor everyone, right? We communicate to everyone as if they're equal to us. And why do we do that? Because they are equal to us. Because no one is better than you. No one is less than you. So that premise in itself deserves an attention of treating people as not even sometimes how we would treat ourselves, because sometimes we don't treat ourselves the right way, but treating people with kindness and with openness and with an unassuming ear and eye of, not only what can I do for this person, but what can I learn from this person? What can I gain from this experience? Because we really never know. We assume that every day is going to be like the last, or at least uneventful, and 9 times out of 10, there's going to be something different. And most days, that something different is small. But some days, it's big. And so I think that verse of, entertaining strangers because they may be angels is essentially telling us to be humble in our living, because we never know what one person or one experience may lead to. So I think it's a great gift and a lesson to know that. Have a good one.